Hello.
So behind of us is the Hotel Indigo.
Right.
It's maybe it's quite difficult to show on the camera, but at the top is the rooftop bar.
Right.
So we'll be heading there one day soon, me and Alex.
Very soon.
Soon make a video.
So you guys can come and join us. We will let you know. Put the dates, yeah.
And then the view that you experience at nighttime, the light and all, it's just absolutely amazing. Guys.
Exactly. Look
like
at
I've
this
never
view.
experienced that kind of a rooftop bar experience, either in London or in New York or any other big city in the world.
Right.
It's just absolutely amazing here.
So that's the building, guys.
The Hotel Indigo. Yeah.
Hotel Indigo of Shanghai. All right.
You with your...
Exactly. So keep talking, and we just talk different, things.
As we're heading towards we're actually going to where I live, guys. So from here, we'll grab some food. We're quite hungry now. And then we'll be heading to where I live in Pudong, South Pudong. The station name is Yaohalu, Line 7, Line 8 on the metro line.
All right. So you actually
see here, this is, as we say, this is the Lujiazhe Financial Center.
Right.
If you walk along that part, keep walking for the next 10 kilometers, about 8 kilometers, it's where I live.
Right.
So sometimes when I'm in the mood, especially in the summer, I just leave my house, get a motorbike and cycle here.
If you know Shanghai, Pudong area is one of the best areas that you can live and visit. So when you move here, try to find an apartment around this area. This is where everything happens.
Correct,
actually, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
The best part is that living in Pudong, you're not living away from downtown. Like Jasur lives in quite far from downtown.
Yeah, I live in a village.
And
called
also you're not living in city center Shanghai, downtown Shanghai, and it's quite expensive to live in downtown Shanghai.
Right. Yes.
So where I live, it provides me this healthy balance of budget and also convenience.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it really depends, because when I came to Shanghai, I didn't know anybody. And because my company is registered in Songjiang, so I thought maybe I should be located near my company and near my office, which I use every day. So that's why, I started renting an apartment in Songjiang area. But now I regret, because all the client meetings and everything like business, networking meetings and conferences, wherever you go, I mean, the startup events are all happening in the center of Shanghai, in downtown area. So even if your company is outside the city, it's better to live in the city. By the way, we posted this penthouse video recently on our YouTube channel. I think it's in one of these buildings, right? It's really hard to determine from here, but it was definitely
one
somewhere.
of these buildings, exactly. So I saw a couple of apartments. So see those houses there? They're 110 million RMB houses.
Right.
So those houses there.
And most of them are penthouses, right?
Yeah, and then the houses are the ones. So if you see those offices, behind them are the houses, and behind them the taller buildings are the apartments. And it was definitely one of those apartment blocks, if I'm not mistaken, and it was approximately 40 million RMB. So
guys, actually, if you want to invest in property in Shanghai, it's not that I don't say that investing in property in Shanghai is not good or it's not advisable. I say that because foreigners do not have the right to rent out their properties, right?
No.
But it's still a good investment if you buy a property and freeze your assets, right? And then in a couple of years it doubles, it triples. Actually, it keeps rising.
So the apartment that I saw, so I'm working on that. My company is working on that apartment, and I have a client who's interested in that apartment.
Right.
So I spoke to the estate agent about roughly in terms of the capital increase over the past couple of years. So that particular apartment increased 50% in 4 years.
50% in 4 years, man,
basis,
that's huge actually.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's
50%
huge.
50% over 4 years, you're talking about 100% approximately in 8 years.
Yeah.
Now London property doubles in 10 years. Shanghai property doubles in 8 years. So that's why...
So yeah, even if you don't have the right to rent out your property, you can still double your money, double your assets, and that's a great deal actually. And as you know, Shanghai property, it's one of the expensive in the world. So that's why people, especially property investors, they try to, they buy and then they keep it, right?
Exactly.
In order to double the
So in terms of
investment.
buy to let, it's not a huge market in Shanghai, but in terms of just to buy it and keep it, it's quite secure, it's quite safe. There are approximately 50 to 60 million houses in the whole of China and all of China, which are absolutely empty. And the reason being that Chinese people like property, they like to buy it, keep it, increase in price, sell it off for a profit. I spoke to one of my Chinese friends. I also posted a video with him, K. K said that generally those kind of apartments in Shanghai, they're not bought by the local Shanghainese people, they're bought by people across from China.
Right.
The reason being that Shanghainese people feel that they're too expensive. But in terms of the capital increase, 50% over 4 years, I feel it's a steal. If you have the money, go for it.
Yeah, if you have the money lying around somewhere, you don't know where to spend it, and obviously property is the best thing you can do.
Exactly. It's a really
and let me ask you, since you're the expert in property, for example, in some countries, when even the local people, when they buy property in some famous cities like Shanghai, they get this local registration, local ID card. How does it work in China? Towards Chinese people, for example, somebody from Beijing want to buy property in Shanghai, can they apply for this local ID card?
Yes, definitely they can. So it's called a hukou in Chinese. Hukou is the local ID card. Hukou is the local, basically, registration of that particular region. So the law states that you must live in that and work in that place and pay a social security, social insurance, basically, for a number of years. I guess it's anywhere between 3 to 5 years. And I have friends who are from other parts of the country. They studied with me in London, now they're working in Shanghai. They've been here for a few years now. They've been paying the local tax for a while, and saying that now they're considered
Shanghainese. Wow, yeah.
And you can take a ferry. It's only 2 RMBs. You use your transportation card, hop over the river, and go to Pudong side.
Great. So let's continue.
This is the ferry, guys, and here you just tap your transportation card. As you can see, it's only 1 yuan or 2 yuan.
Right. And it's
2 yuan. The route is traffic routes, pedestrian fares.
Do you have to know the route, like where you're going?
No, it's a direct route.
All right.
It's a 2 to 5 minute ferry crossing from Puxi to Pudong, and as you can see, these are the tickets.
These are the tickets.
So if you have a bicycle, it's about 3 RMBs, and if you have just yourself on person, 2 RMBs.
Right.
And this is the ferry terminal.
Okay.
Hey, bro.
Sure. So we're taking on this ferry now, and we're going to show you guys how it's
Timing
inside.
for this ferry is from 6 in the morning to 9:20, 20 past 9 in the evening. The ferry, just scan. This is the token that you get.
All right.
Just scan the token.
So shall we go inside and? All right.
So just scan the token, and you have to just.
Okay. 这个可以吗？这里。放那边。Oh, okay. 好。So I'm going to use my card.
We're going to go inside the ferry right now. We'll show you the whole journey, and we're going to go up to the top.
Right. Okay, so this is how it looks like inside. The first floor, ground floor. Okay, Rishi, so let me ask you, by the way, what are those yachts? I mean,
they're all private.
Who do they? Oh, they're private. Oh, this is it basically. So you can either stay on the first floor or just come up on the second floor and enjoy the view.
So the best part of this is that it's only 2 RMBs. I probably cost them more, but in Shanghai or in China in general, everything is subsidized by the government for the benefit of the local people. Now you wouldn't get similar service in the Western countries. The government doesn't really provide any reasonable service for a reasonable cost for its own public. But here in China, the government subsidizes heavily for the transport.